Chapter 4. How St. Francis went to St. James, and about the question that the angel asked Brother Elias. In the beginning of the order, when there were few friars and the places had not yet been occupied, St. Francis, to satisfy his devotion, went to visit St. James in Galicia, and he took with him some companions. One of them was Brother Bernard. And while they were travelling along the road, they found in a certain land a poor sick man, for whom St. Francis felt compassion, and he said to Brother Bernard, "Son, I want you to stay here and take care of this sick man." And Brother Bernard quickly and humbly genuflected and bowed his head, thus accepting the command of the Holy Father. And he stayed in that place while St. Francis went on to St. James with his other companions. When they arrived there and were spending the night in prayer and adoration in the church of St. James, God revealed to St. Francis in that church that he should found many places throughout the world, because his order was destined to spread and grow to a large number of friars. Consequently, as a result of this divine command, he henceforth began to accept places in various lands. When he returned along the same road, St. Francis found Brother Bernard. Now the sick man whom he had entrusted to his care had fully recovered. So the following year, St. Francis gave Brother Bernard permission to go to St. James. Meanwhile, St. Francis went back to the valley of Spoleto. And when he was staying in a certain isolated place with Brother Massio and Brother Elias and several others, one day St. Francis went into the woods to pray. Now his companions had great reverence for him, and they were afraid to disturb his prayers in any way, because of the great graces which God gave him in prayer. And it happened that a very handsome young man, dressed as though prepared to go on a journey, came to the gate of the place and knocked so urgently and loudly and long that the friars were amazed at such an unusual way of knocking. Brother Massio went to the gate and opened it and said to the young man, "Son, I think you have never come to a gate of the friars because you don't know how to knock gently." The young man answered, "And how should I knock?" Brother Massio said to him, "Knock 3 times, one knock after another. Then wait until the friar has said one Our Father and comes to you. And if he does not come by that time, knock again." But the young man replied, "I am in a great hurry, because I have to make a long journey. That is why I knock so loudly. I have come here to talk to Brother Francis, but he is now in contemplation in the woods, and therefore I don't want to disturb him. So go and send Brother Elias to me, for I have heard that he is very wise, and I want to ask him a question." Brother Massio went and told Brother Elias to go to the young man, but as he was proud and irritable, he became angry and refused to go. Then Brother Massio did not know what to do, or what to say to the young man, because if he said, "Brother Elias cannot come," he would be lying. But if he said that Brother Elias was angry and did not want to come, he was afraid of giving the young man a bad example. Meanwhile, as Brother Massio delayed in coming, the young man knocked again as before. Then the friar went back to the gate and said to the young man, "You did not knock the way I told you to." Now the young man was an angel of God, and foreseeing Brother Massio's answer, he said, "Brother Elias does not want to come to me. So go to Brother Francis and tell him that I have come to speak to him. But as I do not want to disturb him in his prayers, tell him to send Brother Elias to me." Then Brother Massio went to Brother Francis, who was praying in the woods, with his face turned towards heaven, and he told him all the young man's message and Brother Elias's answer. Without moving or lowering his face, Saint Francis said, "Go and tell Brother Elias to go to the young man immediately under obedience." When Brother Elias heard Saint Francis's order, he was so angry that he went to the gate. He opened it violently, making a great noise and disturbance, and said to the young man, "What do you want?" And the young man replied, "Take care, brother, not to be angry, as you appear to be, because anger darkens the mind and prevents it from discerning the truth." Then Brother Elias said, "Tell me what you want." And the young man answered, "I ask you whether it is lawful for observers of the Holy Gospel to eat whatever is set before them, as Christ said to his disciples. And I also ask you whether it is lawful for any man to impose on observers of the Holy Gospel anything that is contrary to the liberty of the Gospel." Brother Elias replied arrogantly, "I know the answer very well, but I won't tell you. Go on your way." The young man said, "I know the answer to that question better than you do." Then Brother Elias angrily slammed the gate shut and went away. And he began to think over the question and was puzzled, and he could not find the answer. For when he was the vicar of the order, he had dared to make a regulation beyond the gospel and beyond the rule of Saint Francis that no friar in the order could eat meat. So that question was aimed directly at him. Not knowing how to solve the problem, and reflecting that the young man was humble, and that he had said he could answer the question better than Brother Elias could, he went back to the gate and opened it in order to ask the young man about the question. But when he opened the gate, no one was there, and he could not find the young man, though he searched around. For that young man was an angel of God, and he had not waited because Brother Elias, in his pride, was not worthy to speak with an angel. When this had happened, Saint Francis, to whom all had been revealed by God, came back from the woods and strongly scolded Brother Elias in a loud voice, saying, "You do wrong, Brother Elias. For you drive away the holy angels who come to visit and instruct us. And I tell you, I strongly fear that your pride will make you end your days outside this order. And so it happened to him later, as Saint Francis had prophesied to him, for he died outside the order. On the same day, and at the same hour as that angel went away, he appeared in the same form to Brother Bernard, who was returning from St. James and was standing on the bank of a broad river which he could not cross. And he greeted Brother Bernard in his own language, saying, "God give you peace, good brother." Brother Bernard marveled at the young man's good looks and the language of his own native land, and also at his peaceful greeting and joyful features, and he asked him, "Where are you from, good young man?" The angel replied, "I have come from the place where Saint Francis is staying, and I went to speak with him. But I was unable to do so because he was contemplating God in the woods, and I did not want to disturb him. And Brother Massio and Brother Giles and Brother Elias were staying with him in that place. And Brother Massio taught me how to knock at your gate, the way the friars do. But Brother Elias, because he did not want to answer the question which I asked him, later regretted it and wanted to hear and see me, but could not do so." And after saying these words, the angel said to Brother Bernard, "Dear friend, why are you hesitating to cross the river?" Bernard replied, "Because I am afraid of the deep water I see." And the angel said, "Let us cross over together. Don't be afraid." And taking his hand, in an instant he deposited Brother Bernard safely on the other side of the river. Then Brother Bernard realized that he was one of God's angels, and with great devotion and reverence and joy, he said in a loud voice, "O blessed angel of God, tell me your name." The angel replied, "Why do you ask my name, which is wonderful?" And having said that, he disappeared and left Brother Bernard very happy, so that he was filled with joy during the rest of his journey. And he noted the day and hour when the angel had appeared to him. And when he came to the place where Saint Francis was staying, with his above-mentioned companions, he told them the whole story in detail. Therefore, they knew for sure that the same angel had appeared to them and to him on the same day and at the same hour, and they gave thanks to God. Amen.